honoring the great mystery, which I call God, is there are many different names for God. So they decided that since they celebrated the end of December by giving thanks for what they gave thanks for, and the Christians gave thanks for the birth of Jesus and what they gave thanks for, that if there in fact was one God, which I'm sure there is but one God, that the one God would be pleased to look down and see all of them sitting together. And food was scarce. Food was very scarce. The Indians had smoked some meat that they had killed. They were better hunters than the poor white boys were, and they had got some deers and smoked it, so they had the meat. And on the 25th of December, they all came together in the settlers' cabin, and that, to the record, the best of my knowledge, is the first Christmas that the Indians and the settlers had Christmas together. Today, most Indians live just like you and I do. The bigger percentage of them are Christians and believe exactly as we do. Some of them still cherish the old ways, which is quite all right. And I'm not here to try to talk religion. That's not what today was all about. And giving thanks for family and God. And there's some spirituality connected to Christmas. There is such things as spirits. If I say the spirit of love, it wouldn't have to be somebody. It could just be a spirit. And if your heart is full of the spirit of love, there's something there. You can't see it, but there's something there. You don't have to see spiritual things. If you take the remote control and change the channels, you can't see and smell and taste and touch what's changing that channel, but something's changing that channel, isn't it? So there's something there. We share with the Indians a great respect for our ancestors. My ancestors, or my grandmother, which taught me a great deal, and sometimes there's a certain feeling that I get in remembrances of my grandmother, and she seems closer to me than at other times. As I go through South Georgia, where my grandmother Nelson is buried, I get a different feeling. Not ghostly, don't ever even think that, but I get a certain feeling that my ancestors are there, close by me. And when I go down where they're buried, I get the same feeling. And when I visit the cemetery where so many of our precious ones are, and visit my son, the spirit is there. And if I understand it right, the spirit will stay as long as there's remembrances of that spirit. When there's no more remembrances of my grandmother on this earth, then her spirit will not be there. This, to me, is similar to the Indians, and they used to say, this is sacred ground to the Indians. Well, that threw a lot of people off. They didn't have to say, sacred ground, it's a hill, you know, I didn't have to say some trees. To them it was very sacred. We have very, very close to the Indians. Do you know what an Indian tribe really is? It's an extended family. It's an extended family that comes together to love and care and be concerned over one another. And we don't miss that much. We have an extended family. You're all not Vicks. Some of you are different last names, and it doesn't even matter. We are family. We are one. And we come together. And we, like the Indians, have our own sacred ground. When Brother Bob passed away and we planted the Bob tree, every time I walk in this backyard, I want to tell you, I feel like I'm sitting on sacred ground. I'm on hallowed ground. Now, to me, that's that way. To someone else, it may just be real estate. But to me, since the Bob tree and the coral tree are there, and they promised to put I asked for a cherry tree, but Mary told me no way. When my time comes, I'm getting a pecan tree or some kind of a nut tree going there for Billy. So But that's all right. I won't be upset.
Family tree.
Or what, honey?
Family tree.
A family tree.
You can buy those at Lowe's.
I just hope that that the tradition will live on.
Yes.
We've started a tradition in this family for Christmas, and we need to appreciate Mary and her family and her husband over the last handful of years. I've got pictures of all of my brothers and sisters together last Christmas. It means so much to me. You never know what tomorrow is going to be. And since these traditions have been started and are well established, I hope that they will continue to grow and go. And I hope that your children will come together and that you'll learn of love and respect and understanding and as you grow up, and that this will always be a part of your family. This is our sacred ground. So now let me see. We played the little music, and I've got myself a little bit off key, and I don't want to dominate the whole thing because I want you to enjoy the flutes and the drums and so forth because I love that, and I want you to have some of that. But I want you to have quality time together without Mary having to be busting her little hiney at the kitchen sink or you trying to outrun the kids. I want you to have some quality time to spend in love with each other because you've all come a long way and it means a great deal to all of us. Now I do have one other thing. Since I asked one of the children to please give the gifts out that I had for the grown-ups, and Indians have always been a very giving people, very important to them. They never had anything to give, but what they had was dear to them. Sometimes I lie a little bit, but don't worry about it. I never intentionally hurt anybody, but I'm going to tell you something. This gift goes to the children. And when I was about Jason's size, up in Georgia, we lived in an area that used to be an old Indian encampment. And there was an Indian burial ground behind me. I don't know if your granddaddy ever told you that. There was an Indian burial ground back there. And up until the time from the time I was about Jason's size until I was about Will's size, a lot of my life was spent looking and digging and trying to find arrowheads. And I don't know how many years I've done this, but what I'd like to give to you children is not worth much to anybody. But Uncle Billy's got a lot of moments invested in finding these arrowheads. They mean a great deal to me. So, Cameron, if you would do me an honor and pass my Indian head box around, that every child might have the Indian head of his choice. And remember Uncle Billy.
These are beautiful. Are these arrowheads that you found, Uncle Billy?
Merry Christmas.
That is
Sometimes
awesome.
I don't tell the truth. Yeah, I'm bad about that. No, my darlings, I didn't do all that all those years. I was given that box of arrowheads by a fellow that said he was Indian.
In your heart, Uncle Billy, you found all these arrowheads.
My heart. There you go.
That's awesome.
I mean well. But I'd like you to have one as a token of
Well,
my
I'm
love
going to
for
be
you.
willing to spend and share time with anybody that will go to a show.
Yeah.
We can move into the patio.
I can't take any more
I'm
sun.
melting.
And as a final word of a mother type for the arrowheads, no stabbing, please.
Yes,
children.
please. No sound.
Now, if anybody else would like to add in